Hi there everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Prestige Liquids. My name is Andrew, and as always it is fantastic to have you here with me again on another whiskey review video. Now, if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for joining me along my journey so far. It's always a pleasure having you here with me, and I just really appreciate your support. And if you're new to the channel, then please make sure you hit that bell notification and the subscription button so that you can stay up to date with all future content. Now, today I'm going to be reviewing for you one of these more, I guess, recent releases from Johnnie Walker. This is the Johnnie Walker Black Label Highlands Origin. So while I pour this, I'll just get a little bit of information out of the way for you. So this is a blended malt whiskey. So what that basically means is that the whiskies that have gone into this release are a blend of two or more single malt whiskies from other distilleries. Now, and obviously they have to be used, say, using malted barley. Now, a lot of you would already be quite familiar that, say, especially with Johnnie Walker or other blended whiskies, you are going to be having other say other grain varieties that have been used to produce the whiskey, whereas this one is purely single malt whiskies that have been sourced from other distilleries. Other blended malts that you may be already familiar with, say ones like, say, the Johnnie Walker Green Label, or even Monkey Shoulder as well, if you're wanting another brand. So okay, so with this one, the blended malts that have been used in this release have been sourced from a variety of Highland distilleries. That's why this has been called like the Highland Origins. It's been done to, I guess, showcase the flavors of the Highland region in Scotland. So like I said, this has had like a variety of Highland single malts used in it, but the two main ones come from Clynelish and Teaneck. For those of you who are already quite familiar with Johnnie Walker, you would be aware already that those two distilleries already make up the vast majority of a lot of the blends that go into making Johnnie Walker. So with this release, the Highland release, it's part of a series. It's the Johnnie Walker Origin series. This is the Highland. There is also a Lowland, Speyside, and an Islay release. So I am very curious to be able to try those. Unfortunately, I don't have them available at the moment, but hopefully I'll be able to get my hands on them and I'll be able to review them. Now, this has been aged for 12 years. It has an ABV of 42%, which is, I guess, not that much more than the standard Johnnie, but having, I guess, a little bit of extra alcohol or ABV is always going to be a plus. Now, being that this is Johnnie Walker and a Diageo release, we can straight away assume that this is chill filtered and colored, but who cares? We're here to enjoy the whiskey and just to talk about the whiskey and how it tastes. So let's get on with the review and let's see what we get. So first of all, let me just point out the color. It's absolutely beautiful. You just got this nice golden amber color. In the rest of it in the bottle is almost copper. It's probably more of like a copperish red. It's stunning. It really is a nice color. So moving along to the nose. Wow, the nose is just very fresh, very inviting. Straight away you'll be hit with like a bouquet of apples, pears. It's very orchard fruit dominant on the nose, and then eventually those vanilla and caramel notes come through. There's some nice grassy earthiness going on as well, and I'm not too sure whether there's any sherry cask influence in these. There very well could be. I'm starting to get those notes of like figs and raisins, those nice thick, syrupy, rich notes that you would normally get from a sherry cask finish. There's a very light hint of pepper, Going more of, say, like of white pepper, clove. There's a slight licorice and tobacco note coming through as well. I would say there's a light influence of cask, influence, but it's not a lot. There is a bit of barrel smokiness there and a little bit of char, but it's not very dominant. It's something that you really need to search for. But all in all, this is a very enjoyable nose, and it does keep opening up as well. Like even now, I'm starting to get some nice like orange and lemon zest coming through as well. It's quite citrusy. It's got, say, there's just a lot of notes coming through on the nose. It's very, very enjoyable. All right, let's get on to the palate and see what we get. So cheers. Okay, so pretty decent mouthfeel, which is something that you don't really get from the standard 12-year black label. The standard black label, for me, I usually find quite thin, but this isn't. This is a bit more syrupy. You get a nice drying and a nice drying mouth coating as well. That is also surprisingly syrupy. And then once you kind of get the mouthfeel out of the way, I'm really amazed. I'm getting some nice ashy peaty notes as well. So whether there is or not, I believe that there may be some peated malt in there as well. So that's very interesting. I'm enjoying that dry ashy smokiness that's coming through. Again, apples and pears that are then mingling in with that citrus zest. The citrus is probably not as prominent as it was on the nose, where I was definitely picking up things like orange and lime. This is more of, sorry, orange and lemon, sorry, not lime, but on the palate it is more of just like a generic citrus. Heavy tobacco notes. It's almost like the taste of like smelling a cigar. So you've got that nice earthy tobacco. What else? There's that really nice grassy maltiness that's coming in as well. Soft honey and vanilla. Now on the nose, those honey and vanilla notes were a lot more present on the nose, where on the palate they've taken more of a back step, and those more earthy tannic flavors are coming through a lot on the forefront of the palate. Excuse me. I have to say, as just off the palate alone, this is already a vast improvement on the standard black label. To be honest, when I bought this, I was just kind of thinking, Johnnie Walker, it's gonna be okay. I wasn't expecting anything great. I kind of had an idea of what it might or be like in my head, and I'm glad to say that it has knocked out those those preconceptions. I think it's one of those ones that it really helps if you go into it expecting the worst, and you are going to be pleasantly surprised. It has a lot going on. The nose is amazing. The palate is absolutely beautiful. I think it just does everything that the standard black label doesn't do. It just ties everything up. The standard black label, even though it is enjoyable as it is still kind of a mess. There's just a bit of this going on, a bit of that going on, where with this one it just ties it all together in a nice neat bundle. It feels like it has achieved what it set out to do, and it really is just a great representation of a classic Highland style whiskey. It is actually really, really, really nice. The finish, moving on to the finish, is probably short to medium. Again, you can expect more of those ashy, earthy notes, a little bit of peat and smoke. Then all those some of the spices now are starting to come in. So things like the cloves, white pepper, a little bit of barrel spice as well. Yeah, I have to say that I am really surprised by this. I was not expecting to be as impressed with this as I was when I first bought it. But yeah, as soon as I opened it and I could smell the aroma coming out of the bottle, I knew that I was in for something a little bit different besides the standard black label. I think if any of you are able to get your hands on this, definitely give it a go. That's it there, the Highland Origins by Johnnie Walker. And I say the other awesome thing is that they have decided to do it with a 12-year-old age statement as well. So for those of you who feel that age statements are very important, I think this will tick quite a few of your boxes. So definitely keep an eye out for this. It is definitely worth you at least trying once. And I believe that you will not be disappointed by having a bottle on this shelf. I think you will find it very, very enjoyable. Alright, that's it. I'm going to leave it at that. I've rambled on too much. And yeah, that's it. My name is Andrew. This is Prestige Liquids, and I'll catch you all again on the next video. KIPPIS.